Hello and welcome everyone. This is Race on Oz. It's Monday night. It's the PC League. My name is Nick, and I'm going to take you through the next hour and a bit for round number 5. Round 5 for the season. Halfway mark. 10 rounds in this season. So we're at the Hungaroring. It's wet as well, so that's going to add a little bit of spice to this one, which is set to kick off momentarily. About 4 minutes away. Last time out, we were at Laguna Seca. It was Terry Rayton who took home the victory. There was lap 1, turn 1 incidents going on left, right and centre last week. And Terry Rayton was able to avoid all of it and was relatively unchallenged in the end. So he took out a well-deserved victory. So congratulations to Terry Rayton for the race victory last week. The class winner and third outright was Peter Wall, so he took out the silver class victory. Great drive from him in the number 17 McLaren, and for the AM it was Wally Masterson who took out the AM class victory. So congratulations to all three drivers from last week. Rounding out the podium was Paul Russell and Peter Wall there, so had a ding-dong battle all the way to the end. Let's have a look at the overall standings. So we're halfway through it. Andrew Lawrenson wasn't here last week, nor is he this week, off in Japan, I believe. So could we have a third different race winner in 5 races so far? Looking forward to finding out, but he is still atop of the table right now. As we can see, the leaderboard just sorting itself out there. You do drop your worst round. His worst round was first, but he still remains on top, 30 points clear of Terry Rayton, who's 3 points clear of Paul Russell. So it is pretty tight at the top. Will be even tighter after tonight. James Pierre-Reid there in 4th. 5th is James Mack. 6th, Matt Frost moving his way up. Peter Wall, he's in 7th. 8th, Max Ricker. 9th, Neil Fakney. And 10th is Nando Latanzio. So that's our leaderboard all the way down to Josh Nightingale there in P... whatever it is down there. Silver standings. It is... Oh, come on, man. Silver standings. There you go. I didn't know why it didn't work. Anyway. It's tight. 238 points. That's definitely the up-to-date one. I'm not too sure what happened there. I don't know why it didn't do the thing. But anyway, very tight. James Mack and Peter Wall, only 3 points the difference between those two. Neil Fakney, he's a little bit further behind as Chris Hildebrandt. He's only 1 point ahead of Mark Hurley, so pretty tight amongst those guys with Matthew Marsh and Carlos Dominiak in there as well. And then, will the AM work? It won't. Hang on. Will it work now? No, sorry. Oh, that sucks. Anyway, Herbertron is there in P1, 129 points. He's 25 points clear of James Bridgens. Wally Masterson, he's in tightly packed with James Bridgens in 3rd position, then Ben Doughton and Josh Nightingale. A bit of a three-way fight right now in AM. Then the manufacturers, that didn't work either. See, this is what happens when you don't test things before you do it. It's McLaren out on top, Porsche, Audi, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Honda, Lamborghini, BMW. We've got 30 odd seconds left. Let's take a look at the circuit. So it is raining right now. It is scheduled to rain. It has rained in the practice server for the last week. But the Hungaroring, it's 14 turns. It's 4.38 kilometres. Turn 1 is often a site of plenty of overtaking. It is tough to overtake through here. Turn 4, referred to as blind man, can often cause a lot of havoc. Then that back part of the circuit, it's pretty tight and twisty. As mentioned, it is quite difficult to overtake around here. You often see overtaking attempts through 12, 13 and 14 along onto the main straight. We'll see what this evening provides, and that's not the right one. This is the right one. And we've got this is live pictures right now. So Max Ricker, he has a time of, what do you have, Max? A 144.190. the fastest time in free practice. Hello, Heather Russell. How are you? Hope you're doing well. You and the family. Watching Paul. He's third fastest in free practice there as well. So, about to get this one underway. Who are we waiting on? James Bridgens, who's making his way into the pits. Neil Fakeney as well. He's got an updated livery this week after last week. It was he's decided to make some changes. It's a little bit more calm now. Not as full on. A little bit quieter than what it was last week. I think it's a very nice touch. Let's get a better look at it right there. Look at that. That looks nice. It's the Selby Acoustics colours as well. So that Ferrari looking beautiful. Now we do have a new name. I've not seen before while commentating on PC, but it's Gabriel Ingersoll. I hope that's how you pronounce it. He is racing tonight.
Green light, give it all you can.
And let's go. Now, he is no stranger to Roos. He's actually driven 9 races in Roos. He's taken out a couple of silver class victories as well in the past. So, welcome back to Gabriel Ingersoll. Be interested to see how he goes this evening with cars making their way out on the track right now, getting set for qualifying. 15-minute qualifying session. It is dry right now. Temperature is 24 degrees air, 28 degrees track temperature, classified as fast. And looks like we're going to keep it a dry qualifying session. So these guys will have a clear run at it, but we'll see what the weather brings for them in terms of race weather. As I got James Mack's livery this week, I'm pretty proud of that. Happy about that. Here's Mark Hurley, another Red Rebel Racing entry. Having a bit of a tough year, a tough season. This one, Mark Hurley, not his dominating fashion as he was last season. So good to see Carlos Dominiak out here as well. 17 in the lobby. So a couple more than it was last week. Public holiday in Victoria tomorrow, so got a big horse race on. I do hear other people do take it off as well in other states. Being a Victorian, it's just I've always had that public holiday, so interesting. Nonetheless. Alright, here we go. Terry Rayton's going to be the first driver to set a time lapse. So a 1:44.190 was the fastest time in free practice. That belonged to Max Ricker. Let's see what last week's race winner has on offer for us. He heads down the hill out of turn 1, sorry. Turn 2. Left-hander. I've got to say, I don't think this track's really anyone's favourite. Turn 3, can he take it flat out? Yes, he can. Easy. Got to be careful on lap invalidations through there. Now, turn 4, the infamous left-hander. Oh, just that back end, just a little squirmish. Under brakes there on the approach. Downshifts into second for turn 5. The back wanting to step out. He keeps the lap valid though. Now through the S's, you want to climb all over these curbs. They've got little mini sausage curbs there, but they're not as nasty as we saw last week at Laguna Seca. Now making his way through turn 9. This is turn 10 and 11 now down the hill. So it's a tricky braking zone. Coming down here, brake just as the ripple strip starts. Down into first gear. Very tight and twisty circuit, this one. So it doesn't make for great overtaking opportunities. We'll see how we go this evening. As Terry Rayton had to complete the first time lap of the session. A 44.190 was fastest in free practice. What do we have here? Plenty of cars still to follow. He goes top of the times with a 1:44.227. What about Max Ricker? He was the fastest car in free practice. Hildebrandt's crossed the line. So is Russell. And Ricker goes up into P3 for now. This is James Pierre Reid. Simeon Coco about to cross the line. Back to Pierre Reid as he makes his way through the final turn in the Porsche. One of 3 Porsches in the field this evening. Matthew Marsh just completing his lap, one of the silver drivers. So Terry Rayton has gone top of the times with a 144.227. Fastest lap so far in the early stages of qualifying for this one. Round number 5 of season 3. This is the halfway mark of the season. 10 races in total for season 3. Going to finish sometime in December, just in time for Christmas, as Carlos Dominiak heads across the line. So Terry Rayton's still the time to beat right now as Carlos Dominiak puts in his first timed lap of the session. Here's Nando Latenzio in the Aston Martin. Only a couple of them in the field. He and Chris Hildebrandt, who's up there in P9. He's been having a decent run lately, Nando Latenzio. He was 13th last week. Before that, he's had a pair of 7th and a 10th. So not too bad for the number 2 Aston Martin. What about James Bridgens in the Red Rebel Racing entry? I think there's about 4 Red Rebel Racing entries this evening. Here comes Neil Fakeney in the new liveried number 9 Ferrari. He goes into 15th position. Hildebrandt's half a second up on his best time. That'd get him somewhere close to the front. P7 for now. Paul Russell in 3rd, 4/10ths up. And he remains in P3. What about Mark Hurley? He's improving on his time. Already over 5 minutes. So a third of the time gone already in qualifying. 5:05 in game time, sorry. Here's Marsh. He's 6/10ths up on his best time. That would get him maybe sneak into the top 10 there, maybe 8th. Let's see what he can do. 9th. Makes a liar of me. Here's Herbertron. He is the AM class leader right now in the championship and on the track. What's happened to Coco? He's just letting someone by through there. Paul Russell for now. We'll go to Neil Fakeney because he's 1.3 seconds up on his best time as he makes his way through turn 11. Down the hill braking for turn 12. And the long left-hander, turn 13. He's 1.7 seconds up. Let's see if he can cap off a decent lap that will get him close to the top 10. P12 for now, so nice work there from Neil Fakeney. Here's Paul Russell. He sort of had a bit of understeer by the looks of things there. Runs wide, invalidates his lap anyway. And just looking for someone on a clear lap right now. That's Matt Frost in the 666 Honda. He's half a second up on his best time. That'd get him pretty close to P5 right now. See where he comes across the line. He goes into P5, so nice work from the 666 Matt Frost. Back to Herbertron. So we're over the halfway mark. It's Terry Rayton in P1, 144.227. James Pierre Reid only 48/100ths of a second behind him, and 1.5 back is Paul Russell. Then Matt Frost, Ricker, Ingersoll, Brandt, Latenzio and Hurley. Top 10 right now, 17 in the field. Herbertron, can he improve on his time? He does, but not enough to move up a spot. Paul Russell caught just the tail end of his last lap. Let's see how he goes here. Silver class leader right now is James Mack, 623 McLaren up there in P4 outright. And then Herbertron, the fastest of the AM drivers, he's 13th outright. The early stage, so over the midway mark of this one, as Paul Russell abandons that lap, gives us a good reason to go over to James Mack. I love this colourway. It's very, I like the contrast, the maroon or the red, sort of reddish maroon, and the baby blue, and then the gold wheels are a nice touch as well. Lots of news as well recently in the world of sim racing around this game in particular. The 12 hours of Mazzano for a lot of these drivers as well. James Mack goes up into P2. What about Herbertron, his fellow Red Rebel Racing partner? Not faring as well at this stage of his lap. Let's go to James Pierre Reid. He goes into P1. So James Pierre Reid lays down a 143.7. First driver to dip into the 43s. The track is now at optimum, so it is ramping up. Temperature is 24. Track is 28. It's optimum. Max Ricker, he was fastest in free practice. What can he do? A 45.192 is his best time so far. Does he beat it? He does. A 43.9. So dropping into the 43s now. Here's Herbertron. He's not quite into the 43s just yet. What about Matthew Marsh? No, he's coming out of the pits. Carlos Dominiak, he goes up into 14th position. So this session just starting to ramp up a little bit. The last final 5 minutes of the session. James Bridgens finds himself in P17 right now. The number 146 BMW, the sole BMW in the field. He's a second up on his best time. Maybe about 13th, 12th. There we go. Terry Rayton, early clubhouse leader, finds himself in P3 right now. 44.227 is his best time. That's half a second off the top time of James Pierre Reid with just a tick over 4 minutes left. He's running out of time. Try and put that Audi on the front row. Audi currently sitting P3 in the championship. Terry Rayton, he's sitting second right now, 30 points off Andrew Lawrenson, who's not with us this evening. What about Ingersoll as well? I haven't seen too much of him. He's down there in 8th, so good showing from him for his debut in this season. Terry Rayton looked like he improved, but not enough to move up a spot. Tanzio could move up a couple of spots here, half a second up on his best time, a 45.4. Where does he filter out? A P7, nice work there from the big Aston Martin. James Bridgens just teetering again. He's moved his way up into 13th right now. Ricker and Rayton are both out on laps, so we'll get to them very, very shortly. Hildebrandt is 10th up on his best time. Not really enough to move himself up. Let's finish off this lap with James Bridgens, and I'll get across to probably Terry Rayton because he's putting in a decent time right now. As Bridgens crosses the line, not enough to improve. Here's Max Ricker. He's 2.5 tenths up. At this, if he holds this pace, he will take pole position. 2.5 minutes left in the session, so we still have another lap after this one to go around. Maybe one more after that, just depending how much fuel he has in that car. Making his way through the left-hander of 8. Relatively sweeping right-hander of turn 9 down. Sorry, turn 11. Sorry, turn 12. You can tell that I'm very familiar with this circuit. I kind of am, but the track map is very weird. It's on a funny angle, so it makes it difficult. Anyway, Ricker, will he be able to hold the pace? It's going to be pretty touch and go here. Makes up a lot of time coming out of the final turn. Is it enough to take pole position? I don't think it is. It isn't, so 83 100ths of a second is his best time. Here's Mark Hurley. He's sitting in P9 right now. He's just teetering on being up or down. Max Ricker is out there. James Pierre Reid is happy just to sit in the pits and watch this one, as is James Mack, Chris Hildebrand, Bridgens, and a couple of others, Masterson and Coco. Hurley crosses the line, not good enough to improve on his time. Here's Paul Russell. He's not doing enough at this stage either to improve his time. So he's going to have to go around again. Just a tick over a minute left in the session. It's James Pierre-Reid right now sitting in pole position. Terry Rayton is giving it another go. He's 2.5 tenths up what he was. He's 0.268 off the fastest time of James Pierre-Reid, a 1:43.772. Only driver in the 43.7s. So a rapid time from the Porsche. Another Porsche driver up the top of the field there as well. It's Paul Russell on the second row of the grid in P4. So this track favouring the Porsches, as you think it would. A couple of McLarens up there as well, and an Audi thrown in for good measure, as well as a Honda in the top 6 there. As Rayton just coming through, second to last corner now is 2 point. Ooh, this is going to be touch and go here. Be touch and go whether he can get another lap after this, if that's what he wants to do. Can Terry Rayton take pole position? No, he can't. So he crosses the line, just misses out. So 23/100ths of a second, the difference between James Pierre-Reid and Terry Rayton. We've gone 000. Herbertron, he crosses the line. Ingersoll, what can he do? Can he elevate himself into the top 10 on his debut for this season? He does. He goes into P9. Great result for the returning driver there, Gabriel Ingersoll. Here's Paul Russell. He's 2.5 tenths up on his best time. He's looking for a front row start. Not too sure if he's going to get it. He's a little bit ways behind Max Ricker as well. Half a second the difference between those two. So let's see what he can do. I don't think he's going to improve on his time. Only just, but not enough. Neil Fakeney, one of the final drivers out here. Is he going to abort his lap? I'm not too sure. Going very, very slowly. Max Ricker, he's out there right now. He's up on his time, but only just. So only marginally is he up right now. 43.8 is his best time. We've gone 000. Neil Fakeney is not too far away from crossing the line, but he's not going to improve on his time. He's a few tenths down. So we'll stick with Max Ricker until the end here. The rain has held off. The track turned to optimum. A little bit of sunshine now just to finish the session. We'll see if that's what we get for the race as well as Ricker. The final turn now. Can he steal pole position away from James Pierre-Reid? He can! Nice work, Max Ricker at the death knell. He takes pole position, a 1:43.7 flat. Congratulations, Max Ricker. That's a cracking lap from him. A 1:43.700. Congratulations, Max Ricker. That is awesome driving. Well done to him. He sits on pole position. James Mack, he's the silver class driver. He is leader of the class in 5th. And then Herbertron, P9 outright for the AM driver as well. So well done to him. But that is our grid right now for this one. We will get things started very, very shortly. I'll be back in around about a minute and a half, 90 seconds. So enough for you to grab a drink or do whatever. But yeah, be back in about a minute and a half. Alright, we're back. Let's take a look at the grid. Max Ricker, pole position at 1:43, 7 flat. Cracking time from him in the McLaren. James Pierre-Reid right there next to him in P2 on the front row of the grid. Terry Rayton, last week's winner. Can he make it 2 from 2? He's starting from P3. Paul Russell, can he get his first win of the season starting from P4? Fifth and leader of the silver class, the Red Rebel Racing entry of James Mack. The 666 Ferrari Honda of Matt Frost starting in 6th. 7th is the 177 Red Rebel Racing entry, the Ferrari of Mark Hurley. Nando Lattanzio in the number 2 Aston Martin. He'll start from grid slot number 8. Herbertron, the AM driver, highest AM driver. Great position for him to be starting in P9. Gabriel Ingersoll, race number 10 for him in the league tonight, starting from P10. Neil Fakeney, he's going to start from grid position number 11. Chris Hildebrand, he'll begin the race from P12. Just behind him is Matthew Marsh in the number 47 Porsche. James Bridgens, he's starting from P number 14. 15th is Carlos Dominiak. 16th is Wally Masterson. And 17th, and rounding out the grid, is the number 7 Ferrari Simeon Cocco. So that is our grid all set. And right now it is dry conditions, which is good to see, and the forecast looks for at least the next half an hour is staying clear, which I'm sure a lot of these drivers will be very, very thankful for, as making their way off the start-finish line. And they're all going to filter through turn 1. Nice field size, 17. It's actually not too bad around here. Last week we had turn 1, lap 1 dramas. Hoping we don't see a repeat of that this evening. They're all making their way through turn 1. But Max Ricker, I reckon that's probably his first pole position. Where has he been finishing lately, Max Ricker? 3rd, didn't race, 11th and a 9th, so a little bit out of nowhere for Ricker in the number 27. Can he convert it into a race victory? As mentioned, it is quite tough to pass around this track, so that could prove to be in his favour, but he's going to have a pretty fast pack behind him hunting him down, so he's definitely going to have a fight on his hands. It won't be easy at all. So track conditions, 24 degrees air, 28 degrees track. It is at optimum. Now, in terms of race setup, it is mandatory tyres. So mandatory tyres for this evening, and it's a 45-minute pit window as well. So similar to what we saw last week. Last week was mandatory fuel by, if my memory is correct. Yes, it was mandatory fuel last week, so mandatory tyres this week. A few interesting strategies last round at Laguna Seca. Will we see something similar here? These guys can push as hard as they want with a mandatory fuel, mandatory tyre stop as well. That does open it up to starting with a lower fuel load as well. So see how this one pans out, as they're not too far away from approaching the final turn, and we'll have round number 5, the halfway mark of season number 3 underway. Oh, Matthew, oh no, what's happened, Carlos Dominiak? Is that a disconnect? Oh dear. Oh, his race has ended before it's even started. Hopefully he can get that going. But here we go. As soon as they cross the line, we'll get the signal. There it is. Round number 5 of the Race on Oz. Season 3 is underway. Ricker got a good start. So did Pierre-Reid. Terry Rayton looking to split the two. into turn 1, pulls out of it at the last second as they all filter through into turn 1. And looks like everyone has managed to get through without any dramas. Carlos Dominiak still stationary, and looks like Terry Rayton has managed to get past there. Runs a little bit deep into turn 2. James Pierre Reid able to hold on to that position. Rayton going up the inside of turn 3 now. They're going to go side by side up the hill towards turn 4. Max Ricker's already opened up a nice little gap. Pierre Reid slots in front of Rayton there. Russell making his way through. Everyone's made their way through turn 4 without any dramas. So great driving from everyone so far. There's Ricker out in front. Pierre Reid, Rayton, Russell, James Mack all giving chase. From positions swapping there. Ingersoll and Latanzio and Neil Fakeney. He's moved into P14 as well. But at the front of the field, Max Ricker has already opened up an almost 2-second gap over the rest of the field. So he's jumped them. He's off. And he's leaving the rest behind to fight for themselves. As this one is fully underway now. And with Pierre Reid. He's got Terry Rayton for company right now. And yeah, I think we've lost Carlos Dominiak. So right as the race started. He was out before it started, so we'll see if he does make his way back. But there you can see Max Ricker leading in the early stages of this one. Looks like Latanzio getting a bit racy there with Ingersoll. This is Neil Fakeney all over the back of the Porsche of Matthew Marsh. It looks like Latanzio going side by side with Ingersoll right now. One of the Ruse veterans, Nando Latanzio. Over 130 races for Ruse. He's got Hildebrandt just behind him as well. Let's have a look back. So a couple of Aston Martins line astern here. Oh, what happened, Russell? Let's see what happened here. Paul Russell. That's turn 3. Does it go wrong at turn 4? Oh, he just clips the inside curb. Oh, no. I don't think there was any drama there. Alright. So here's the battle out in front. This is Pierre Reid and Rayton. This is the fight for P2 and P3. James Mack's a little bit further back from these guys. Then it's Russell, Frost, that's Mark Hurley. He's going to make a little bit of a dive there on the 666. This is Gabriel Ingersoll. So just having a look at risers and fallers. Ingersoll, he's up 2 spots. Hildebrandt's up 2. Bridges is up 3. Mack's up 1 and Meisterson's up 2. Herbertron, he's lost a bunch of spots off the start there. He's down in 15th. He started in 9th, so he's lost 6 positions so far in the early stages of this one. As we're having a look at Paul Russell, potentially putting a move there on James Mack into turn 1. Pulls out at the very last moment. Mack defended to the inside. I don't think that will be the last time that we see a move like that tonight. As Latanzio, we saw him scrapping earlier with Ingersoll. He's renewing that battle right now as they head down through turn 2 into turn 3, the right-hander down the hill. What about Paul Russell? He's tucked up right under the rear wing there of James Mack, the silver driver, doing a fantastic job. Second week in a row that we've got silver drivers right up the front of the field. Peter Wall was last week. This week it's James Mack. Russell all over the back of the McLaren right now. He's got Matt Frost for company as well, so he's just going to have to be mindful of that while he's hunting down Mack. And now Max Ricker, he's blitzed the field. He's 3.5 seconds up the road from James Pierre Reid. Make that 4 seconds, in fact. So he's put a jump on the field. And Brayton now tucked under the rear wing of Pierre Reid while we're watching this scrap between James Mack and Paul Russell. Field's still pretty tightly compacted as well. We didn't have any incidents this week on lap 1, turn 1, which is always good. As Bridgens puts the move on Hildebrandt, and Neil Fakeney looking to do the same as they approach turn 1 here. Fastest part of the circuit. And Neil Fakeney couldn't get himself a piece of that either. Here's Rayton and Pierre Reid. Let's go back and have a look at how that came about. So turn 1, Terry Rayton just sending the move down the inside there of Pierre Reid. And he now moves into P2. He'll begin the chase for Max Ricker, who is right now in P1, almost 5 seconds up the road from these two. So he's absolutely flying. He's already put in the fastest lap of the race, a 1:44.075. So Max Ricker is absolutely flying right now in that McLaren. Paul Russell still finds himself behind the McLaren of James Mack. They're down in 4th and 5th right now, respectively. And yeah, nice clean race. Opening minutes of this one, which is positive. Now it'll be a case of getting into your rhythm. Herbertron and Wally Masterson, last week's AM class winner, and Herbertron, the current AM championship leader. So they end up swapping positions. Wally Masterson takes that away from Herbertron. James Bridgens is currently the class leader right now for AM. As we flick over to Neil Fakeney and Chris Hildebrandt, a couple of silver drivers doing battle for 11th and 12th. The early stages of this one, round number 5 of the season. Pit window is opening. There we go. Pit window is open. It's a 45-minute pit window, and there's mandatory tyres this evening. As Hildebrandt and Fakeney fighting tooth and nail, going through turn 3 now. Ferrari looking for a way past that Aston Martin. Not an easy task as they approach turn 4. Hildebrandt getting a little bit out of shape there, but nothing too much to upset the car. He's able to continue on in the Aston. And the group out in front just starting to string themselves out a little bit right now. So there's a gap between Rayton and Max Ricker is at 5.7 seconds. Last lap around, Max Ricker lapped a 43.780. Terry Rayton did a 44.782. So Max Ricker, a whole second faster than Terry Rayton on that previous lap. So he's absolutely flying. Has he got a lighter fuel load to start this one, or is that just genuine pace? He did start on pole position, so we know the pace is genuine. It's going to be an interesting strategy to play out. So Russell giving chase to Mack. He's half a second behind him. He's been behind him for a little while now, at least the last sort of 7 or 8 minutes. And he's got Frost and Hurley, so it's a bit of a stalemate between those three right now. Ingersoll is keeping himself in the mix. We've got an early pit stop, so this is Herbertron. So it doesn't look like there's any damage there on that car. So this is a strategy call for him. It's a long way home on the same set of tyres. That's 50.5 minutes to get home. So that'll be minimum 30 seconds in the pits. Gives a good indication if he's taken fuel and didn't look like there was any damage on that car. As Russell throwing that Porsche through the S's section there of 6 and 7. Oh, it's Paul Russell's birthday. There you go. Happy birthday, Paul Russell. Heather Russell just putting that in the chat. Let's see if he can get a podium for his birthday. How old is he, Heather? You'll have to tell us. Or give us a rough ballpark anyway. But happy birthday, Paul Russell. So he's giving chase right now to James Mack. Last lap around, Mack was a 45.3, 45.4 to Russell. What do they do this time around? 44.7 or 44.6. So Russell with the advantage, only just on that previous lap. And James Mack, the silver driver, doing his championship aspirations the world of good. Peter Wall isn't here this evening, and James Mack is in P1. So that's about the best you can do, considering Peter Wall isn't here this evening. Maybe he might be a Victorian enjoying the long weekend. Well, the pseudo long weekend. A lot of people didn't work today. Definitely not working tomorrow. Russell pushing hard out of turn 4. And Mark Hurley as well. So he started 7th. Finds himself in P7 right now. And James Ridgens is the big mover. He started 14th. Currently finds himself in P10. And Herbertron, unfortunately, after a great qualifying, he finds himself in P16. 7 spots from where he started. Most likely wouldn't want me to say his age. That's fair enough, Heather. That's fair enough. We won't... I won't press you for that, but happy birthday nonetheless. Let's to Paul Russell, who's looking to put a move on James Mack right now. Almost went side by side through 13. Ahead along the main straight, top speed 245 kilometres for Russell, 244 to James Mack. Nothing doing right now. And a nice little tightly compacted group from 4th down through to about 10th or 9th right now. So, sort of battle group forming. In terms of what's happening out in front, it is Max Ricker leading the way. He's 6.7 seconds ahead of Terry Rayton. Last lap around, he did a 43.650, fastest lap of the race. Terry Rayton did a 44.275. James Pierre Reid did a 45 flat. James Mack did a 45.6, a 45.5 to Russell. So no one else in the 43s except Max Ricker right now. He's absolutely flying in the number 27 McLaren. That's why he's over 7 seconds ahead. As Marsh, what happened here? Matthew Marsh. Oh, this is... Let's see if we can pick up... It's just near the S's, I think. Oh, did he? No, he didn't lose it there. Oh, yeah, just lost it on the entry. Around he went. So, back to live action. This is almost a carbon copy of what we saw earlier, the last lap around with Paul Russell and James Mack. He's been in a great scrap for P4 and 5 as Matt Frost. He's lurking ever closer now. Ricker continues to pump in 43s, a 43.8 that last lap, compared to Terry Rayton, 44.5. As Paul Russell having a look down the inside. I think he's got to get that move done. Looking like it right now. They're looking from the rear of the Porsche, and he gets the move done. He goes into P4. So Paul Russell spent about the first sort of 15 minutes or so of this race behind James Mack and finally worked his way past. So Mack now drops into P5. He's got Matt Frost right behind him in the Honda, so he'll be wanting to make his way past as soon as he can, but James Mack's no easy feat to get past. And interesting, this is for silver class, so James Mack leading silver. Mark Hurley in P2 in silver class, only a couple of spots back on the circuit to James Mack. So you can see silver class battling it out. 2 cars in the top 10 doing great stuff. Hildebrand, the other silver class driver, in the top 10. And James Bridges, he's leading the AM class right now. That'll give his championship aspirations a world of good as well. He's 25 points behind Herbertron, who is currently P16, which is the final car on circuit right now. As we've gone the quarter-way mark, it's Max Ricker leading the way, 8.4 seconds. Continues to circulate in 43s, a 43.8. That last lap, I think it was a 43.8 before that, a 43.6. So the pace is hot from the McLaren. 44.927 and a 9.37 from Rayton and Reed. So those two barely be separated at this stage. As Frost, you see him going through turn 1 of 45.6 that previous lap around. But yeah, pretty tight pack between 5th and 9th right now. There's Latenzio in the Aston Martin, and Ingersoll putting in a good showing in the early stages of this one. He's returned back to racing at Roos, currently sitting P8 after starting 10th. As we go on board with him, he's got Hurley just ahead in the 177 Ferrari. Red Rebel Racing. A lot of Red Rebel Racing cars around the traps at the moment. What's going on, Herbertron? Oh, what happened here? He pitted earlier. Let's see if I can find out what happened. So that's the second to last. This will be the last corner. And does the back just step out? Oh, yep. I just caught it too late. Anyway, back to this battle here. Ingersoll and Latenzio. Ingersoll, that back end just stepping out ever so slightly on the final turn. That's been enough to allow Latenzio to make a move down the front straight into turn 1. Ingersoll going deep under brakes there. Latenzio still going to have to fight this one. That was good racing from Ingersoll there. He didn't give it up, but then that move down the inside, that wasn't reckless. That was all under control the whole time. So nice work there from Gabriel Ingersoll to hold on to that position. So Latenzio is going to have to regather himself and work that out. Alright, so Max Ricker, he just did a 44.3 on that last lap around. So he's dropped out of the 43s right now, as we're not too far away from a third race distance. Still though, that was half a second faster than Rayton, so the gap is 9.4 seconds between Ricker and Rayton. 3.3 seconds between Rayton and Reed, and then a further 4 seconds back is Paul Russell. And then you've got this nice little pack going on here of Mack, Frost, Hurley, Ingersoll, and Latenzio. As Coco, what's happened here? Simeon. Is this turn 4? I think it might be. Yes, it is. Yeah, okay. Alright, just what do I normally do? 30 seconds? The 20 seconds. Anyway, Hildebrand, he's in the pits. And then Matt Frost. Alright. So Hildebrand with the early stop. Well, at a third race distance, so not not necessarily that early. Drive-through cleared from 111. That's Hildebrand, so that's why he was in the pits, clearing that drive-through. I think that was for track limits. As we're looking at Mac giving chase to Frost. Last lap around a 45.1 to Frost, a 45.5 to Mac, so advantage Frost in that case. And what's Ricker going to do this lap? Last lap was a 44.1. This lap is a 44 flat, so still 8/10 faster than Terry Rayton's last lap. What is he going to do here? Terry Rayton. 45 flat, so a second faster to Max Ricker. He's got the pace. Someone else who's also got a bit of pace is this man here, Nando Latanzio. He was faster on that last trip around than Ingersoll. Only just. Thought about it there, Nando, but thought better of it. This scrap here between James Mack and Matt Frost. So pit window of 45 minutes. We're almost 15 minutes into it. We usually see most drivers not go anywhere near the maximum limit of the pit window. Not to say we won't see that tonight, but highly unlikely. Some nice on-board shots here from James Mack, hunting down the 666 Honda just up ahead, belonging to Matt Frost. Keeping an eye on the lap times of 44.382 to Ricker. What does Rayton do? You know, this is the night that I really need Adrian Rice. 44.842, so half a second faster Max Ricker on that last lap. Pierre Reid was a 45 flat. Russell was a 45 flat. And then Frost just does a 45.7 to a 45.5 from James Mack, who now as Mark Hurley for company, another Red Rebel Racing entry. And then Ingersoll tucked right in there too. And then Nando Latenzio wanted to get a little piece of this action as well. So field's still relatively compressed here between 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. And you could add 9th in there, Nando Latenzio. But a couple of Red Rebel Racing entries in P6 and P7 right now, and that is for the silver class victory as well. So James Mack ahead in silver. Hurley sitting in second there, and third is Neil Fakeney. James Bridgens, he's the leader of the AM class. He's 11th outright at this stage of the race, which we're only 6 minutes away from hitting the halfway mark. Puff of dust being kicked up there. A couple of cars ahead. I think that was Matt Frost. Hurley fending off Ingersoll, who's got Latenzio for company, making their way through the final turn. Ingersoll does a 46 flat, Latenzio does a 45.1. Slight advantage until Latenzio on that previous lap. Max Ricker continues to lap in the 44 to 44.3. So 7/10 faster than Terry Rayton on that previous lap. He did a 45 flat. Reed did a 45.5. Paul Russell, he was half a second faster than Reed on that last lap. Man, Max Ricker is fast around here. 44.3s, you have to think they are a legit time. And you know what? Good for Max Ricker as well. He goes alright, I reckon, Max Ricker. I don't know where he is in the championship, but there he is. He's P8. So he took a podium with the first race of the season, didn't race the next one, and then it's gone 11th and 9th. So he's had good form this season, Max Ricker. Bringing up his stats, that would be good. Let's see if I can just do that on the fly here as we're watching Ingersoll battle it out. Let's see if I can bring this up. So Hurley continuing to fend off Ingersoll, who's trying to fend off Latanzio. Last lap around, Ricker did a 44.4. Terry Rayton a 45.3. So it's 14 seconds the difference right now between first and second. Pierre Reid's 3.3 seconds adrift from Rayton in third position, and Russell's a further 3.3 seconds as well. So interesting. This is all going to play out. We're not too far away from the halfway mark. Pit window still has 25 minutes to go. Herbitron's the only driver that has taken advantage of that. Let's see if I can pull up these stats for Max Ricker. Here we go. So 9 total races, 1 season. Best result, that was a 4th. That's different now. This is not updated. Best in the championship was 5th. There's Latanzio. Best qualifying was 4th. So he beat his best qualifying. He's had his best finish for the season so far in round number 1. And now he is on track at almost the halfway mark of this one to take a race victory, which would be his first as Ingersoll finds himself on the outside. That's not where you want to be at turn 1. Almost thought he was disconnected there for a moment. I couldn't see him. Latanzio taking that position. Ingersoll wanting to fight back through turn 2. You get the feeling this is not quite over yet. They still need to navigate through turn 3. They make a little bit of contact, and that might just be enough for Ingersoll to back off and give that position to Latanzio as they make their way through turn 4. That's not a place on the track that you want to be going side by side with one another. And Latanzio now up into P8. But for how long? Ingersoll will want to take that back as soon as he can. In the meantime, we're watching the Silver Class battle play out in front of our eyes right now. James Mack leading the way from Mark Hurley. Neil Fakeney, he's 3rd in class. He's down there in 10th position. So a couple of cars between him and this driver we see on screen, Mark Hurley. So last lap around, Ricker 44.250. Rayton 45.395. He's coming into the pits. Here we go. So Terry Raiton, Paul Russell is coming into the pits. Halfway mark, mandatory tyre stop. Fuel is optional. This is going to be interesting to see how long they pit for here. I think Fakeney is in the pits as well. So 3 drivers deciding to take the opportunity to come into the pits. Keep a close eye on those two as we get back to the scrap here. Looks like Max just opened up a little bit of a buffer right now over Hurley, just over half a second, so not much of a buffer, but they've been in the pits for now. Total stop time is Raiton 32, 33 seconds. Terry Raiton, so he's making his way out of the pits. That will be a total of 1 minute and 1 second. 32 second stationary time for Paul Russell and 101. Hildebrandt making his second stop of the day, and Fakeney has a little bit longer left in there before he gets going again. There he goes. That'll be about a minute 3. Yeah, a minute 3 for him. So there you go. So we know that Max Ricker needs a gap of 1 minute over Raiton and Russell, as we're watching Hurley and Lattanzio making their way into the pits. So they've decided now is the time to stop for them. There you go. In. One stern. Who else is that? That's Bridgens. He's coming into the pits as well. Will Marsh decide to pit? No, he doesn't. So he continues around again. He's got Wally Masterson just up ahead of him. So these two rounding out the top 10 at this stage. We've got the pit stops to play out. So here we go. So Max Ricker, he needs a gap of 1 minute 1 to 1 minute 2. 1 minute 3 would be perfect. Right now, the gap between him and Terry Raiton is 1 minute 18. What is he going to do? Is he going to pit on this lap? Is he going to match them, or see what times the others start doing? Russell and Raiton. Is he going to make a stop? He is. Here we go. So as he comes in, the gap was at 1 minute 18. So this is a pressure stop for Max Ricker. Needs to nail this. Drops to the speed limit. Here we go. It'd be great if we had, if you could see the guys in the pit box. But anyway, got to hit his marks here. We'd be a little bit nervous as well. He's got him. All right, here we go. Chase is on. So Terry Raiton, he is about 1 minute back, and Rico's already been in there for 38 seconds and counting. 45 seconds so far. Total time. Stationary time now at 25 seconds. Raiton was 33. We're almost at 33, 32, 32, 32 seconds. The stop is on the money. Max Ricker is out and going. Max Ricker has just under 26 minutes left to get that car home. And that's where Terry Raiton is. That's the difference between the two. Almost the length of the straight between Max Ricker and Terry Raiton. Paul Russell, he's a little bit further behind. He's 6.6 seconds behind Terry Raiton. So Ricker, who's going to come out directly into traffic. But yeah, a money stop for him at 1 minute 1 and total stop time of 32 seconds. So perfect stop from him. perhaps the only thing that could have been more perfect for it was that he came out just ahead of these guys, because there's really no other cars anywhere near these three. So he'll want to try and clear them. Hopefully Marsh and Masterson. Oh, pit for him. And that'd make it nice and easy. Now they don't have blue flags because this is all for position. Marsh hasn't pitted, neither is Masterson. So just going to take a little bit of patience here from Max. Just to work his way through this. And I'm sure Masterson and Marsh will work out that this is essentially the net race leader coming through. Masterson running wide through there. Does he decide to pit? No, he's pulling it over, or it's not a way into the pits. Anyway, Mark is in the pits. So is Frost. So Ricker, he moves up now into P4. He's got Marsh ahead. That last lap around, Marsh was lapping in a 47.6, so significantly slower than this man on screen who's just invalidated his lap. So that's just something to keep in mind here. Will track limits come into play in the later stages of this one? Just a tick under 24 minutes remaining, so we're well over the halfway mark. And Max Ricker, the gap between him and Terry Rayton is 12 seconds. Last lap around, Terry Rayton did a 44.4, and Matthew Marsh just getting out of the way there. Smart driving from Marsh. That wasn't his race, and he lets Max Ricker through, and now he's got a ton of clean air ahead of him. So this is looking fantastic for Max Ricker right now. The gap between he and Rayton is at about 12 seconds as James Pierre Reid, he comes into the pits. So who was he? I think he was, what was he, third? I think he was third. Terry Rayton was in P2. Last lap around Reid, 49.7. That's not necessarily indicative of what he actually did, because that would take into account the pit entry. He's at 30 seconds. So this will be interesting between Pierre Reid and Rayton. Looks like he's probably going to get it done though, Terry Rayton. Relatively comfortably. 45, so Reid's got... he's still stationary right now. Yeah, he drops. And there goes Rayton. So Pierre Reid, you can hear the Audi go past. There he goes. So he's through. That gives you a good idea on the gap between Terry Rayton and James Pierre Reid. So that's essentially your net second and third right now. But the car in P1 is this man here. He's Gabriel Ingersoll. So I did mention he's raced in the league 9 times before today. Let's see if I can pull up his stats as well. These stats are all given to you from James Pierre Reid does all of this. So here we go. There we go. So 9, 1 season, class wins 2, class podiums 2, silver seasons 1, 9 races. Yeah, there you go. So best championship P20. He's coming into the pits right now as well. So I'll try to bring you some more stats throughout, as Max Ricker will soon inherit this lead. 45.450 was his last lap. Let's see what he does this trip around. Has invalidated his lap again, so just keep the track of it. I don't know if he necessarily gets track warnings for it. That lap is a 44.450 as well. He now moves into P1. Terry Rayton, he's in P2 right now. He does a 44.262. And James Pierre Reid, this is his out lap right now, so that's not an indicative time, and a 44.7 to Paul Russell, the other Porsche driver. So nice little battle here for the podium position coming up versus James Pierre-Reid versus Paul Russell for third. These guys are about 7 odd seconds behind Terry Rayton for second, so not much chance of those two catching Rayton at this stage. We are looking though likely for our third different race winner in the opening 5 races, which is going to give us some interesting championship standings as well. Terry Rayton, you would think, would move into P1 in the championship. James Pierre-Reid would get his best result of the season as well. He's had a couple of fifths. No, he's had a second as well. I tell a lie. Still a great solid season from him. 2nd, 11th, 5th and 5th. So if we can add a P3 into that, that is a very nice looking season so far. As it looks like Herbertron gets past Marsh. Let's see if I can bring it up here. I think that might have been because Matthew Marsh was in the pits. Yeah, there we go. Herbertron making his way past. And there he goes. There goes Herbertron. And all done. So we'll get back to live pictures in a moment. There we go. It's all done. And I'll get back to that right now. There we go. Alright. There's some action on the track. Nando Latanzio. Oh, Ingersoll's got a stop-go penalty, 30 seconds. So that would have been for hitting that accelerator a little bit too early. Oh, that's going to put a bit of a spanner in the works for him, because he's running in P9 right now. That's going to drop him right down towards the end of the field, as he's got a couple of laps remaining to serve that penalty. As Latanzio, last lap around, 45.265 to Hurley's a 45.230, so not much in it between these two. And then the other scrap going on is Frost and James Mack, the Energy Kid, there in 5th position, and Paul Russell in 4th. He's a little bit further up the road from these guys, about 12.5 seconds to be exact. So not too far away from beginning the final 15 minutes of this one, race number 5 for the season. We'll mark the halfway point. We'll go one more race and we'll have a little break, and we'll come back for the final 4 races of the season. We're going to cap it all off with a trip to Coda for round number 10. There's still plenty of action to come until then, as Frost, he's hunting down James Mack, who's currently leading the silver class. And Max Ricker, he is absolutely flying. 43.7 compared to Terry Rayton, a 44.9. So that McLaren is absolutely just on rails right now, as we're watching Frost looking to make a move down the inside of turn 1 on James Mack. Pulls it up under brakes. Can he complete this pass? Yes, he can. Nice work there from Matt Frost in the Honda. He is now occupying P5, and James Mack has this man behind him, another Red Rebel Racing entry. That is Matt Frost, as Ingersoll coming in to serve his penalty. So that's a real kick in the guts for him, and he's going to drop all the way down, I think pretty close to back of the field, P15. So was having a good run up until then. Hopefully we see him for the remainder of the season. That'd be nice. In the meantime, I monitor this scrap going on right now. It's Frost, Mack, Hurley and Latanzio. It's 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. And then about 14 seconds up the road is Paul Russell in P4 in the number 6 Porsche, the Kmart Racing entry. nicely turned out 177 Ferrari. You can't miss those Red Rebel Racing entries though. Very distinctive livery. Another iconic livery is behind him. Nando Latanzio. He did have a bit of a habit there at one stage where he was almost changing his livery on a week-to-week basis. But he seems to have settled on the Big Banger Tribute. Marlboro Racing. I still don't know how you can have cigarette liveries in games, but it's a discussion for another day. Here's Marsh, another Red Rebel Racing entry. Herbertron. And Marsh has Hildebrand for company as well. Track limits penalty. That's Ingersoll. Wow. I tell you, if he didn't have any bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. Gabriel Ingersoll. It started off decent for him. The first half of the race was great. And just after that pit stop, it's all gone wrong for him. So he's going to have to serve a drive-through penalty, which will cement his position at the rear of the field in P15, and he does so straight away. So he's peeled the band-aid off. He's ripped the band-aid off, getting it over and done with nice and early. In the meantime, this little scrap going on here. And we'll get back to Latenzio as well. He's got Hurley. Let's see if there's any action up the front straight here between these two. Oh no, he's done it again. Gabriel Ingersoll, he's hit the speed limiter a little bit too early. Let's see if we can go back and see what's happened. So here he is. He's going. Is the pit board missing or something? No, it's not. You can see right there. Sure what's happened, and then he's on his merry way, and then he's got this little pack bearing down on him now too. So we'll go back to live pictures in a moment. There we go, and we're back to live, and you can see there's Matt Frost and Hildebrand and Marsh. They swap positions. That's down in 12th and 13th. Marsh fighting back, looking to go down the inside. Let's see how this came about. They round the final corner onto the front straight here. They've got Herbertron up ahead. Let's see how this plays out between all three cars. This is Hildebrand. He's going to come from a fair way back here. And, big move down the inside. I reckon Marsh just saw him at the last moment. And then as we saw, they continued this on. And I think Hildebrand has managed to remain ahead of the Porsche of Matthew Marsh as we go back to live images, and you can see right there for your own two eyes. 11.5 minutes remaining. Max Ricker has a lead of 12.8 seconds. He is lapping in the 44s, a 44.6 flat. That last lap around, Terry Rayton a 44.630, so nothing in it between those two. The only problem is there's 12.8 seconds the gap between first and second right now. James Pierre Reid, he was a little bit faster than the two cars in front. He's 6.2 seconds adrift there in P3, and Paul Russell has now dropped back 2.2 seconds to James Pierre Reid, so wasn't able to necessarily put a lot of pressure on there for that final podium position. But we've still got just under 11 minutes remaining in this one, so we'll see how this all pans out. And then we're going to wrap things up. So, stop go cleared. Hey, shout out to Gabriel Ingersoll. And was grounds for rage quitting, and you would not have blamed him at all. But he's got to power on, and he's going to continue this race. So kudos to him. Hopefully he comes back and he can have a better one next time out. In the meantime, though, we're going to see how this all unfolds. For the final 10 minutes, 50 gone, 10 to go. Now under 10. Field relatively strung out. In terms of what the classes look like, silver class is being led by this man right here, Mark Hurley and Neil Fakney. They round out the podium for silver class. AM class, it's Bridgens over Herbertron. The gap between those two cars is 10 seconds. They're both occupying P10 and P11 right now. So good to see a AM driver right up the front of the field. Hey, Kid Buyers Racing League, love the channel. Right back at ya. How did you go yesterday? The 6 hours of Silverstone for the what league is the Australasian New Zealand Endurance? Let me get that correct. Yeah, the Australasian New Zealand Endurance League. They had the 6 hours of Silverstone yesterday. Big effort from those guys on console. A lot of Ruse guys driving in that. Nice big field. I think they got a 4 hours of Suzuka coming up in a few weeks as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. The Kid Buyers Racing Twitch stream, I think it is. Alright, here's Mac and Frost. These guys going at it. Last lap around, 44.592 to Frost, a 44.522 to Mac. So slight advantage to him, 7/10 the difference. The voice is still recovering. Yeah, I can. 6 hours, a bloody long time to be talking for, isn't it? Did 6 hours at Bathurst a little while ago. And yeah, it took me a day or so for the voice to come back. Here's the Tanzio. He's hunting down Hurley. He had about a half a second advantage in pace. Pit window is closed, but as mentioned, we didn't see anyone really going anywhere close to running up against the clock on that one. It's a nice little scrap going on between Latenzio and Hurley as they make their way through turn 4. Max Ricker lapping a 43.905, so the fastest lap of the race was a 43.650 belonging to him. He was only 3/10 off that on the previous lap. So Max Ricker is looking to take his first ever victory in Ruse. He's got just under 7 minutes left to do it, and he is going to best his PB of P3 in round 1. Took pole position, 44.190. He just went around in a 43.7, sorry, was the fastest time. 44.190 was practice time. But he was top of the times in practice. He was top of the times in qualifying. He's looking to make it a clean sweep. 6 minutes away. Oh, Matthew Marsh, what's going on? No, just a little blip. He's alright. So Mac, nothing doing with Frost. Latenzio, he's the same. Fakely was a ways behind these guys. Last lap around, 45 flat to Frost. Mac, 44.8. Mac, I reckon he really enjoy a top 5 position. He's currently sitting P1 in the championship, 238 points to 235. Peter Wall in P2, so Peter Wall not racing this evening as mentioned earlier. Neil Fakney, he's 164 points in 3rd. He's looking to take P3 in silver, so I'm not too sure if he'll threaten Peter Wall for second just yet, but better push him up a lot closer. In terms of the AM, Herbertron is the AM leader. James Bridgens is second, 25 points behind him, and Bridgens is currently P1 in AM, 10th outright. So that's a cracking result for James Bridgens as well. So well done to him. Where did he start? He started in 14th, so he's moved up 4 spots. Good work from James Bridgens. He had a rough race. Was it last week? I think it was. Yeah, it was. The week before that, he took the AM class victory. And he's looking to make it 2 from the last 3. So he's in good form right now. And we've got his livery. How good is that? Finally got the leopard print on the stream as James Mack. Nothing doing on this lap around. Time fast running out now. Just a tick over 4 minutes left in round number 5 of the season. And Gabriel Ingersoll. What happened here? Oh, that's turn 4. It wasn't turn 4 that upset him. Coming out of 5. Where's it going to happen here? Caught it pretty late, didn't I? Here we go. It's in the S's there. Oh, no. Am I going to pick anything up here? There it is. That's a lot harder corner than it actually looks there. It's hard to get your rhythm back around here if you lose it. So unrelenting track, the Hungaroring, as mentioned, not many people's favourites. It didn't rain either all week in the server. It was rain was the talk, and no rain to speak of in the race. It did rain in pre-practice, but that was it. So I think a lot of these guys would be very happy about that. I think it rained for an hour or so in the 12 hours of Mazzano that a lot of these guys participated in over the weekend. So I don't think they would have been looking forward to more rain this evening. They didn't get it, which I'm sure would have made them quite pleased. Less than 3 minutes. Max Ricker just easing off the pace now. 45.1 on that last lap. Rayton did a 44.9. It's still almost 15 seconds, the gap between first and second right now. Pierre Reid, he's in third, 4.7 seconds behind Rayton, and almost 6 seconds behind Pierre Reid is Paul Russell. So as far as the outright podium, that's looking pretty sewn up at this stage. And so is the silver podium. So this man is on the top step. He's got Mark Hurley behind him, but that's the gap between these two, and with less than 2 minutes remaining, James Mack has a pretty tight hold on the Silver Class Championship. And this man on screen, James Bridgens, he's looking to take his second class victory out of the last 3 races and try and get in P1 of the championship, which would be a good place to be at the halfway mark of season number 3, the final season.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now.
There it is. Max Ricker, last lap for him. Keep an eye on him as we go around. And that means Frost and Mack will have one more lap to go at it. Can Matt Frost hold on for P5? He's had a DNF, a fourth, and a 10th. So a little bit of a return to form for Matt Frost after last week finishing 10th. And he's put in a good showing in the Honda. Not an easy car to drive by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually an absolute dog to drive from my point of view anyway. That's my opinion on it. As Latanzio is still not close enough. But this man on screen, he's been untouchable today as he comes through the S's for the final time. So as I mentioned, he was fastest in free practice. He took pole position. He's taken the fastest lap, and he's just a couple of turns away from taking out P1 and capping off pretty much the perfect race He's led all the way, and his pace throughout has been absolutely phenomenal. And so this is going to be his best result. It tops his PB of P3. His first ever podium in Ruse came in round number 1. We are round number 5, and Max Ricker is about to make his way through the final turn. He will approach the line. Max Ricker, congratulations. You are the 3rd race winner for the season. And round number 5, congratulations, Max Ricker. That was an awesome drive from him. Well done and very well deserved. Congratulations, Max Ricker. He takes home victory. Terry Rayton in some great form right now after last week's race victory. He comes home in P2. Congratulations to Terry Rayton. James Pierre Reid, he rounds out the podium. He's having a fantastic season, Pierre Reid. So is Paul Russell on his birthday. Happy birthday, Paul Russell. Couldn't quite get a podium today, but 4th is nothing to be sneezed at, so congratulations to him. Matt Frost is going to end up holding off James Mack to take home P5. Well done, Matt Frost. James Mack, he takes out the silver class victory and 6th outright. Congratulations to him. Mark Hurley in 7th. 8th is Nando Latenzio. Neil Fakeney, didn't see much of him this week. He's looking to come home to take a well-deserved P9. And James Bridgens, he is the AM class leader right now. I see Herbertron's dropped down a couple of spots as well. He was just behind, he was behind Bridgens in P11. That'll have championship implications. But Bridgens comes home P10. Congratulations, the AM class winner. What's going on between these guys? So Marsh is going to cross the line. He's going to come home in P11. Congratulations, Matthew Marsh. Herbertron in 12th and Chris Hildebrand in 13th. Rounding out the field is 14th, Wally Masterson and Gabriel Ingersoll. The first half was great, Gabriel. The second half, you didn't have much luck. And that is our race winner, everyone. Max Ricker, congratulations. His first victory in Ruse, and what a dominating fashion he did it in. As I mentioned, fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, fastest lap, and P1. Awesome work, Max Ricker. He is our round number 5 race winner. All right, as these guys decide to do their go. Yep. All right, let's see where we're going next week, shall we? Before we finish this all off. All right, so last week was the Guna Seika. This week was Hungaroring, as you've just seen, and round number 6, 100 minute little mini enduro, is going to be around Spa next week. So that's exciting. 100 minutes around Spa, and that will all kick off same time, I think. Let's have a quick look. Real world. Yeah, 9:50 qualifying. That doesn't quite make sense. But I think it'll be the same time. Yeah, anyway, we're all good. Cool. All right, that's it, everyone. Round 5 is in the books. Congratulations to Max Ricker. Congratulations to James Mack and Bridgens there for their class victories. Thank you to everyone for watching. Bit of a quiet crowd tonight. Not many people on the stream, but you get that sometimes. Anyway, my name's Nick. I hope you enjoyed tonight. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great Melbourne Cup day if you're in Melbourne. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Saturday night, man, AAES round 2 of the Summer Championship coming up. Drop in about 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Savings Time on Saturday night. Check it out. It's going to be